All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 10th work session of the Board of Selectmen. We started at 6:30, that was a while ago. We met with a handful of park candidates for Chase Park. And then we had a meeting with the interim DPW director, which brings us to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And the police radio balloon discussion.
All right, so Sergeant Montplaisir, Weare PD, filling in for Chief Moore today. Unfortunately, we don't really have much of an update. I've been trying to get a hold of Liam Hurley. He's a communications maintenance supervisor for the Department of Safety in New Hampshire. I actually ran into him at the Sweet Spot, I think it's called now, the old Just Like Moms. And he gave me his business card, and he's the climber for the state. So it's our intention to try to coordinate with the Department of Safety to see if we can utilize their resources as well to try to reduce the fees that we need to pay through ARPA money and all that. So until we get any communication back from him, I sent him an email this morning, called him again this afternoon, and I've called him and left him messages a couple days ago. So we just haven't heard back from him. So we'll continue to try to make contact with him to see if we can utilize their services, and if not, we'll come back with further information on that project.
Okay. And that's the line of sight stuff that he'd be helping us
Roger,
with?
yes.
Okay, and then the grant request change.
So Chief Moore has been in direct communication with Lisa, I apologize, I forget her last name. She's a coordinator for the grant. What we would propose to the Board of Selectmen seeking approval is to apply for a command vehicle through the grant. We need to be able to show a nexus between the lifting of restrictions of COVID-19 and how this equipment will be utilized for ramifications from those restrictions being lifted. Chief Moore is very confident, as am I, that he will be able to create that nexus. The money is drying up. I know Washington Police Department just put in for a UTV, so I'm anticipating approximately $70,000 remain if that got approved. We both believe that this is going to be our least likely approval comparative to the UTV and the drone, but however, we feel that there still is a good chance, and we would like to put in the grant and see what the state says on that.
So just to be clear, the department has changed direction as far as for the grant, not saying you guys don't need or want the UTV and the drone, but you guys have changed direction with this particular grant and want to now pursue a command vehicle.
That is correct. Just based on the timeline, as I said, the funds were running up. It's my understanding that we may not need to have a public hearing on this because this isn't really a controversial subject. There's definitely a need for a command vehicle. This would be replacing an older vehicle, so we're not increasing the fleet as far as numbers go. I'm not 100% positive, but I believe the chief would be retiring his 2013 Explorer. Is that right? Is it 13? It's a 2014 that, you know.
Yeah. And I think that there was a request for a public hearing on those two other items.
That is correct.
And I believe that the town's position is still, with the reception of a grant, we still have a public hearing, regardless of what the grant is. Not again, we had it as a meeting with the townsfolk to say something or whatever they wanted to, but yeah, no, that it would not be another one of it would be to receive the grant funding. Because it's basically unanticipated revenue coming to the town. So it has to be, and it's over a certain amount. Am I speaking out of turn here? That we have to have that? I don't remember. I could have sworn that we needed a public hearing to receive the funds.
So I can tell you, we spoke with the grant coordinator, Lisa. If it is not by law,
It may be different with ARPA funds because it's federal. That may be, I don't know.
I can tell you, I've been in direct communication with multiple agencies that have applied for this grant. I know Hillsborough Police Department Chief Parsons went to his selectman after he got it and asked him to sign it. And there was no
Okay.
recourse
All right.
on that.
Okay.
My concern is if you say that we need to have a public meeting on it, that's 2 weeks that it needs to be posted, because we don't have one posted yet. We're not gonna get anything. That's why we went to a no controversial, it's a command vehicle, it's
Well,
replacing
I
a,
think regardless, I think it's still gonna have I think there's still gonna be somebody that's gonna talk about it, regardless.
correct.
And everybody has an opinion, right?
No, absolutely.
I think it's less. I wouldn't say no, I'd say less, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I'm not trying to kick the can down the road, but I also think that the public should have some kind of a say on it. Just my own opinion.
I believe, Ms. Bolton, just let me know if I'm wrong, but you did not believe that there needed to be a public hearing conversation? That's,
Well, there may not be by law.
I think it's adding to the fleet, but that's a whole different conversation.
It's not, again, it's not a public hearing material.
I have a little bit to do with the fleet. So Sergeant Frisbee, so we have an opportunity here to replace a 2014 vehicle and replace it with a brand-new vehicle that has a 5-year warranty. We have to keep it for 7 years, but that first 5 years, it's going to be under warranty, minus brakes, tires,
Wear items.
and oil changes. The chief's primarily going to be driving it, so it's not going to be
I'm
driven
not,
hard.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
So this is a win-win. We have zero tax impact, and we have the ability to replace the oldest vehicle in our fleet at zero tax impact. So to pass it up, to me, if somebody had an argument against this decision, it wouldn't be rational in my mind.
it's not.
So I think we need
I-
to jump on it. We have the opportunity. We're almost in the same predicament that we were in 2016.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity that we need to
Guys,
jump
I'm not-
on and take, in my
I'm not
opinion, as a
disagreeing
fleet
with this,
manager.
with the statement you have made at all. I'm not disagreeing with any of it. But again, we work for the townspeople. That's my only comment. I'm only one board
Right.
member.
I understand
No,
that.
I agree with everything you've said, that both of you have said. But again, I just,
Yeah, so what this has to do, tonight is officially a work session, okay? These were dedicated work sessions for us to, and as of when we set this agenda last week, you were not included on this agenda. We were working primarily on things we needed to get done. We came out of that meeting thinking we were going to have the public meeting to discuss the UTV and the drone. That would be well on its way. We need to add a description to this grant request change. I mean, this is all it says on this agenda. It doesn't talk about a grant request change to go from the UTVs, drones, to a command vehicle. And that's where the public element has to come in. So you're basically, next week is our official meeting, okay? We're every other week, right? So we're gonna need to get you on the agenda, and you're gonna have to come in, and we're gonna have to nail it, it'd have to be nailed down in that meeting. What are you presenting? What is the command vehicle definition? It isn't just a conventional cruiser. We're not looking for a cruiser, we're looking for a command vehicle.
That is correct. That information was provided on April 5th by Chief Moore to the board. Or, excuse me, that was provided to Town Administrator Bolton on April 5th.
Yeah, there hasn't been a public presentation of a command vehicle except for back when Mountain Road happened. We did discuss the need for such a vehicle in a situation like that, because we were lacking that tool, which would have made that work.
I tend to disagree. I guess when I saw this show up, I thought we were discussing the email that came across and we were going to make a decision on if we were doing this or not.
Okay.
as far as if that was the direction we were taking, or we were gonna vote to accept the funds and move
I
forward.
thought we were going to vote to accept the funds with the change that had been made.
Okay.
Again, one member, but that
Yeah.
was,
So one option, I'm just throwing it out there, I don't know the legalities behind it, but we can absolutely talk to Lisa tomorrow, is if you allow us to apply, there's no guarantee we're even gonna get these funds, right? And the longer we wait to even apply for it, the less likely it's gonna be that we are even eligible, because the funds aren't gonna be there. They're gonna be,
So did you guys apply for the drone or no?
no, we're seeking approval to even
Okay,
apply.
all
That's, we're in the same,
Just question, okay.
yep.
I feel a little different about talking about applying and then getting a little more
I
information
can
about
hear
the-
you.
I said I'd be okay with talking about, applying, letting you guys apply, not meaning you're gonna, and then hearing more, because I don't know what entails a command vehicle either, I don't know if we gotta put the equipment in it, you have the equipment.
So-
I feel that's a conversation for a meeting that's scheduled.
No, absolutely. I can just, if you want, I can give you a brief overview just to kind of, it's essentially what the chief has now with a secondary radio in the back to allow us to take command of critical incidents so we can know where guys are, set up a plan and everything else. It's not unheard of. His vehicle right now is the command vehicle. It's just not set up with one because we don't have a secondary radio that would be able to communicate with the schools on their frequencies and our frequencies and everything else. So it's not reinventing the wheel. We're just trying to get a new vehicle that can be reliable because at this moment, we have 2 marked units available for service.
No, I get that, I just don't know what the command equipment entails in its life cycle and all that. I'm not, don't do that work, so I don't know. I've been to a fire where there's a fire command vehicle, and there was a lot of shit in the back of that thing.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
So
so-
fire does it phenomenally well. They have this down to a
It wasn't
science.
this town, it just was, that's the only experience I got with the command vehicle, so it looked like a lot of stuff, and I didn't know, does this grant cover? I just feel like that'd be,
So the grant, the intention is we're gonna apply for everything that we would need in this vehicle to make it also a secondary patrol vehicle. Obviously, the grant total for this vehicle, based on the quotes the chief has received, was $81,496.10. Of that, it has graphics, upfitting, a secondary radio, storage upfit, patrol PC with printer, the prisoner partition in the back, and a radar. With that being said, I'm anticipating only $70,000 left in that grant based on Washington Police Department putting in for the UTV. So the grant's not gonna be covered 100%. The plan of action is we have money from the details or patrols down at Clough State Park. I'm not 100% positive on what that account balance is. Last I heard it was approximately $20,000, which could cover any of those other fees to make it a non-tax impactable item and allow us to continue forward in our mission of serving this community.
So this vehicle will be identified, this will be a stickered vehicle.
The chief, yes, there will be graphics on it.
Yeah. Current vehicle he's driving doesn't, does it?
No.
Okay, that's important to me.
Yep.
And is there a reason for going with the Tahoe opposed to the Explorer?
Space and to keep
Ground clearance too.
ground clearance, space.
The transmissions, there's just a lot of issues with those newer Fords that guys just don't like them, they're not as big, transmission issues.
Yeah.
There's,
Okay.
So is this a Tahoe?
Yes.
Okay, because when we talked command vehicle at CIP, that wasn't what we envisioned.
What was,
What was a SWAT vehicle was envisioned at,
Or was it a SWAT vehicle?
well, the picture that was shown on CIP showed this square box of for a command vehicle.
picture must've been, yeah, because no, I thought it was a Tahoe too.
It was always a Tahoe, and is my understanding. I'm not 100% confident.
Yeah, it's just like Brandon said, it's got the second radio, it's got a little pull desk that comes out.
It's
of the back.
essentially what the fire chief is driving now. That's their command vehicle. There's no difference from what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yep,
I'm
absolutely.
just curious, changing brands, yeah. And Fords are less expensive than
So
Explorers.
if you
less
guys, I
expensive
mean, if
vehicle.
you give the green light, there's no, I would say there's no turning back to us according to this, is that correct?
So, what do you mean by that?
So if you give them the green light, the feds can just approve it and go give them the money without you having any say. Is that correct?
That's what I need to look into. But we can also see if
It
you
just
give.
talks about the AG and the governor and council.
So it's not the federal government that would authorize it anyways. This is New Hampshire Attorney General's is the one that would be reviewing and approving the applications. I'm not 100% positive if we can apply and then pull out if need be. But obviously, at the very least, I would ask for permission to do that if we're able to, so we can start the process. If they say, no, you need the full green light, it is what it is. Obviously, ideally, we would like permission to apply for a grant to try to get another vehicle in an aging fleet and get rid of an old vehicle.
What was, this is more of a curiosity, Brandon, than anything. What created the switch from the necessity of the drone and UTV, because we got a pretty compelling argument for the need of those two,
No, absolutely.
to going to this, backburnering them and then stepping into this?
Absolutely. So there's absolute need for a UTV and a drone. However, we felt this was our best chance to get past the Board of Selectmen to allow us to apply, because we are running out of time. This money has been around for a while, and they're trying to dry up that account. And if we do not make a decision, we're not going to get anything. So we're trying to benefit the agency so we can provide the services that the town expects us to provide by applying for something that there's an absolute need for. There's a need for the drone, there's a need for a UTV, but there's also a need for a command vehicle, because our command vehicle is aging, it's not set up properly to take command of a situation. So we felt that it was most appropriate, because there shouldn't be much controversy on this subject, because we already technically have one. It's not set up for one, but we're getting rid of an old vehicle, putting this in to be the new vehicle, and it's a win-win for the taxpayers and the police department.
Yeah, I almost like the description that we're replacing the aging vehicle, and we're applying for a grant to do that, opposed to the unclarity to the taxpayer on what we're approving as far as what a command vehicle
No,
is, right? It just has it has a different definition than the chief's transport 99% of the time, because that's what it's gonna be used for, 99% of the time, back and forth to Henniker,
Yep. Until there's a critical incident that, we need it, or,
provided it's not in Henniker.
Yeah,
Correct.
I would agree with what Kevin said. Like, when you tell me you want a new vehicle, it's like, okay, what's the maintenance cost on that? What are the hidden costs? But as soon as it's replacing an existing vehicle, well, that's,
I can say 100% with certainty, the intention is that if we are fortunate enough to get this grant, that old 2014 is down the road. It's not covered under warranty. This will be covered under warranty. So there's a lot of benefits to replacing that. That vehicle's 10 years old now. The life expectancy, talking to the chief, he anticipates this vehicle could last at a minimum of 10 years with proper maintenance. It's not going to be a frontline vehicle. It's going to always be a command vehicle.
What about the command equipment? What's the life expectancy on that?
So we have radios, prior to us getting the Dodge Chargers, those radio systems were 15, 20 years old. So
So it'd last the life of the vehicle at least.
absolutely. The biggest thing is, there shouldn't be any reoccurring fees on this, maybe graphics down the road, because they fade out after 4 or 5 years. We're seeing that now with the Dodge Chargers. Radars will last. Patrol PC with a printer, again, that's not a critical item. The chief put in priorities 1 through 8. Patrol PC with the printers ranked number 6. In all honesty, if we get priority number 1, 2, and 3, which is vehicle, the graphics, and the infrastructure upfit, that's $65,000 that we've saved the taxpayers on a vehicle that is much needed to replace a very old, rusted-out vehicle.
Yeah, like I said, Brendan, it just, and when you tell me, and I agree that the 13 is, you got a 10-year-old vehicle, that's pretty much rollover time. If this is going to be the chief's primary drive, but the whole reason for having the command vehicle is for when that crisis situation comes up, we need it right now, right? And it's sitting in Henniker, and the chief's out to dinner, and he do not disturb his phone, and now where are the keys to the command vehicle and how we gain access to this very valuable tool that we need now?
No,
Because
absolutely.
we're in a crisis situation. I'm not saying we don't need one.
Yep.
But in my opinion, if this is this tool for that emergency moment, it's got to be right there.
So, can I counter that a little bit?
Yeah,
absolutely.
This
So
would be
can-
my argument. I'm being the general public.
Okay,
I'm
absolutely.
buying a command vehicle, or I'm getting a command vehicle, this is tax money.
So in a critical incident, we're not gonna have Patrolman Joe Snuffy taking command, right? So it's either, we'll have a first line supervisor on, whether it's a sergeant or a corporal, and then, the captain may get called out or the chief, depending on how critical the incident is. This isn't for the everyday call for service, we're going to a domestic. This is a critical incident, right? Time's generally on our side on that. You slow play it. Modern policing, we're not jumping indoors and doing all this cowboy stuff, right? So time's on our side. You set up a perimeter, you get the command down there, you get the assets you need down there, and then you make strategic plans of action to ensure everybody's safe, to include the community, the police officers on scene, and everybody else.
Okay, got it. But the command vehicle that we currently have that isn't set up wasn't at Mountain Road.
No,
Okay.
because we don't have
Okay,
one that's
I'm all
fully
set.
set up.
I'm all set.
So it's a Tahoe, and this is the lineup. We have how many other Tahoes now?
We have 2 Tahoes currently.
And how many non-Tahoes?
Ryan, how many we got? We got 2, we have 4 Chargers and an Explorer.
Because, kind of to that point, if you're saying you want to outfit this all the way, and then come next year, you're saying we need another Tahoe, well, maybe we don't need the taxpayer to spend money on the prisoner partition and everything, because we just bought one with ARPA money that has all that, and we can move it over, and then the chief has a vehicle. That's not 2014. Is that, when we talked about like the side-by-side before,
Yeah.
it was, you have to keep it for however many years.
7 years.
So is that the same with this? Could we part out the interior of this new vehicle that we bought with ARPA money into a vehicle we buy with town money down the line?
That's something I would need to look into, but I think as long as the police department still possesses it, then yes.
Does that kind of,
Yeah,
Does that do anything for you, Kevin?
I understand the logic. Yeah, I'm not, again, I'm not opposed to any of this. It's just, you pivoted quick on us, right? And I was leaning towards trying to get you to get a UTV that was bigger than 44 inches on the interior, so 2 of you could sit side by side without snuggling.
Yeah.
But at the same, and I was definitely saw the drone as being really valuable in certain situations. So then all of a sudden to go to command vehicle kind of caught me off guard. I did not read the email or interpret it as it was a decision I was making tonight. So I am at least kind of playing catch up here. If the rest of the board is prepared to make a decision tonight, I'll have to hear their arguments for it. I don't know where you are, Sherry, but.
Well, I'm just wondering, if we get this, if we go ahead, move on this and get this command vehicle, is it possible that the chief could, instead of using this command vehicle to run back and forth home with, that he could use one of the other Tahoes that isn't set up, so this is always available at the police station?
That is actually a possible, we have a brand new.
leaves his vehicle off when we need it.
Yeah, when we need it, that's something you can absolutely discuss with the chief. I don't foresee if I know he has some issues or whatever, so he needs a higher vehicle because of studies on higher vehicles, better for your back or whatever else, that he can absolutely get into with you. So I know he would prefer an SUV or a pickup truck.
But don't you have another SUV?
We just got a new one on town warrant that hasn't been outfitted yet.
Right, but that's not gonna be a command vehicle.
Correct.
So why couldn't he use that and have the command vehicle at the?
That's not what you sold to the taxpayers. As he said, you sold a fully equipped frontline vehicle. That's what he's saying. So the command vehicle,
It won't be a fully equipped frontline vehicle.
no, but what we went to the voters with
Yeah, I get
is
it.
said a fully equipped. So by not graphicing it, not fully equipment, I think that's a wrong message. The
Well,
voters
put
spoke.
this- Put the graphics on it.
They are gonna be on it.
They are gonna be on it.
Right.
And it's gonna be fully outfitted like a frontline cruiser, which is what we told when we were buying.
But just for clarity, the command vehicle won't be equipped as a frontline vehicle.
Right, that's what you're
No,
saying.
it will be.
It
will.
Our intention is,
It'll be equipped
Everything plus a
for
radio.
frontline, but
Yes.
it's not a frontline like the
correct.
other one.
It's not gonna be an everyday driver patrol vehicle, But when we're in situations like we currently are, that we have two vehicles available to us, we'll absolutely use it when needed.
Yeah. I think, and Sherry's question would be, why couldn't
Could've
we
used
take,
one of the
why couldn't we just
Yeah, why couldn't
leave, use the command vehicle as a frontline vehicle and have the chief sit in the new Tahoe that's sitting to get, ready to get outfitted, if you got this? So that we'd have the command vehicle on premise
At the
for the
at
emergency, if we needed it. That's a discussion we could have with the chief.
I think the first thing we need to do is just get a vehicle. You know, we can figure out the logistics of how we're gonna pivot and use it and say this is what it's used for and everything else. But we're putting the cart before the horse, because that's saying we're getting the vehicle. We need to just apply to try to even get a vehicle, never mind everything else.
So we're,
I can't-
again,
Is this because I think the number is like 80-something, right?
For what's remaining,
No, the quote he put
the
together.
outfitted quote is 81,494
But
or 96.
if there's only 70 and you apply for 80, are you automatically booted?
No,
Okay.
no, so I know, for example, Henniker Police Department put in for the grant for multiple AEDs. And I don't know exactly how much. I spoke with Chief Matt French about it, and they came back and said, we can give you X, but we can't give you Y. And it was no issue at all.
And if they were to do that, if we said, yes, go ahead today, and that's a big if, and then they turn around and say, we can only give you less than that, does that come back to us to make a decision?
Are we the agents to expend?
I don't know.
For the town.
Because, yeah, I don't want to put us in like a 50 grand hole or something.
So there would be no hole because you're getting it on a grant, right? So there's no tax.
But if you apply for 81 and they say, hey, we can only give you, and right now we're anticipating, okay, maybe they give us 70. And then
Yep.
they actually say, oh, we can only give you 45. Well,
I call it a win because we're getting a $45,000 vehicle.
but then you said we have 20 grand in the dam.
Yeah, we're way
Now-
short on that.
That won't fly, though.
But no, so
That's what I'm trying to cover. How do we not end up in that situation?
So you can not put a radar unit in it. That saves us $3,400. You can, change.
But
So
then
does
it-
that
but
not
removes it
change
from
what you
front line.
applied?
But that removes it from a frontline piece.
So can we allow you to put in for the grant now and see how much comes,
Back
you
before
get
we make.
offered and then talk about it? Is that,
I mean, we can try.
As long as the intention
it
doesn't
makes a
change.
big difference if it's gonna be 80 or 40.
Right, right.
Because they don't follow CIP or nothing if we got gonna get 40. If it doesn't have to gonna up any, then I don't see a problem, but they ain't gonna know that until they apply.
Why? They gotta
We
apply.
They
need to
our
apply.
They
But-
need our permission
but-
to apply.
But that's my question is it apply and then we never come back here? And really, that's what Amy was asking earlier. Does it ever come back here? Because if it
That's
doesn't,
What I
then that
think
kind of scares
The
me.
permission, what I understood was to apply. And then if it's awarded, I don't know if we ever see it.
I believe, based on talking to Chief Matt French and Chief Chris Parsons, they needed the Board of Selectmen to sign for it, is my understanding, because
To receive the funds.
to receive the funds, because Chief Parsons went to the Board of Selectmen, gave them the paperwork awarding it, and he needed a signature from his Board of Selectmen, which they gave him, to say, yes, thank you, we'll take the, so he applied for everything prior to even discussing it with the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, because what Salem is saying, I think that, I guess that could be the catch.
Right.
That could be the net,
Right.
right?
Backstop, yeah.
Is if they come back and say, well, sorry,
Only got 40.
the town of Tamworth applied for a bubbler and we gave it to them.
Yep.
And now it's down to 40,000.
Yep.
Is that something that we can still float and literally make a legit, I want to say legit, but a full outfitted potential patrol vehicle in the event of a downed, front line that we have now.
Yeah, we're
If,
gonna-
if it is not fiscally possible at that time, when it comes back, and we can't do it, do we not sign it and do we have that option?
Yep.
Right, to say, no, we did not get enough committed funds from the, grant.
Yep.
So we cannot, at this time fiscally, make it on our side.
Yep.
Is that, I think that's the out that we're looking for.
Absolutely, and so I can absolutely call Lisa tomorrow if you guys, say, yes, we can apply, and we can retract it if it's awarded to us. I can absolutely make that phone call. If she says, yes, it needs a signature at the end to accept it, and then we go forward, apply for it at least, see what they say, and then if we need to, if it gets awarded, we can come back here and say, this is what it is, and
Okay, I
make a
got
final
it,
decision.
I got it.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we approve the PD to file application with the condition that the final, if approved, the board has to have final sign-off before accepting the funds.
That sounds fair.
And
You can read, you can read.
to amend that a little bit.
Yeah,
I'd
go
like-
ahead.
I'd
Why
like-
don't you just do the
all
entire
right,
thing? I'll
so,
just
so,
negate that.
all right, make a motion that the Ware Police Department determines whether, so step one, determines whether the grant, application can get final approval by the Board of Selectmen. If so, they are approved by the board to make that grant application.
I think just, I'm sorry, but I like the term, make it a condition of the approval.
Yeah, condition of approval. Yeah.
That's fine. I just want to make sure step one is, I don't want it to be, hey, we did the approval and then we found out actually we're down this track.
They cannot make the submission unless they get, when they talk to Lisa, whomever that is tomorrow, that they meet the condition.
That's fine. Yeah, I think we're on the same page. I just, when it came second, it was like, you can make it,
Well, we can make the approval condition of, but I just wanted to state that it is
all
the
right, run it by me
condition of
one more
our,
time.
it's just a condition of our approval.
Sure, no, I mean, can you just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna rescind mine.
All right. I'm trying to
Well,
draft
I
off my
think
head
what-
right
I think
now.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restate it, and then you're gonna proof it, which is great, and I like that. Is just that we're approving the PD to file for the grant conditional that we have final sign-off before receiving of any funds. Does that work?
The part I'm losing is it makes it sound like they can go apply, and then we are
We're gonna
binding
sign it off.
ourselves that we will sign it, but we
Sign
want to
it
bind
off.
them to make sure that we have final approval.
Exactly. Our approval is conditioned that they find out tomorrow morning that we have final
But
approval.
worded that way, it's bound that we
Go
will,
ahead, why don't you run with it, run with it, run with it.
okay. All right, well, I feel like I should just write it down real quick. All right, let's see, here we go. All right, I'm gonna make a motion that the Weare Police Department find out whether the Weare Board of Selectmen will be able to have final determination on the ARPA grant application, money received, and conditional on knowledge that the Board of Selectmen will have that final authority, the police department may make the application for a new command vehicle to phase out our existing 2014 command vehicle.
You better slow down, because that was a big one. And she's writing as fast as she can over there.
Can I just give a suggestion? The Ware Police Department has permission to apply for a grant so long the application is non-binding and can be rescinded prior to accepting funds by the Board of Selectmen.
Sounds good.
That's better.
Just throwing it out there.
I didn't write it down, so
That
I
sounds
can
good.
get it off.
Do I hear so,
Second.
no, do I hear a so moved?
So,
Is there a second?
Way to go, Sherry.
I'll second.
All right, moved and
You're
seconded.
gonna have to,
We're gonna have to recite it before we vote on it.
and you have to go slow. Or if you've written it down.
wrote it down, so who wants it?
picture the chief sitting in his hotel room or whatever, just watching this
YouTube.
video, just
Laugh,
probably
laugh,
blowing your phone up like, come on, guys.
laughing, kicking one back, yeah. Got it?
I didn't take shorthand,
It's true, neither did
I
I.
paid attention. Okay, so
Okay,
I have the Weare PD has permission to apply for a grant so long as the application is non-binding and can be rescinded prior to accepting funds. It's written here,
Right.
and that was what was moved and seconded.
by Sherry and then Benji.
Do you want to,
Call the vote, is there?
do you want
all
to
those-
specify it's for a cruiser? I didn't add that in there.
Probably should, yeah, for a command vehicle,
So prior
Vehicle
to accepting
to-
funds for a
command vehicle,
Command vehicle.
command,
Replacing.
a replacement command vehicle.
should we say to replace the 2014?
Yes.
Probably call it out
Yeah.
specifically, yes.
Because that'll be the biggest contention, is making sure that's a replacement, not an addition.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Okay, we added for a command vehicle to replace, I think it's a 2013, but 2013, 2014.
Whatever, Ford Explorer, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's a motion on the floor, it's been seconded, is there a vote? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Abstentions? 5-0.
5?
Okay,
Okay.
It's the easy part.
that was supposed to be the easy part. Now here we are.
So, do you have anything else for us or no? Because I got two other items by the chief. One's
Time out.
20 seconds.
We're trying to move away from that. If we weren't, if we were not filled in prior to the meeting, we're trying to avoid those topics coming up.
The chief sent an email on April 5th. with
Okay.
the
As
Email
long-
overview.
All right, as long as they've been reviewed over, that's all, I just want,
But hang on, it was sent on the 5th. We had the agenda already posted for the 6th. All you did was tell me to take the 6th agenda and add it to tonight. I didn't add anything more.
okay. So, what are the topics?
Just an update on our records, which will take about 20 seconds.
Does the board wanna,
Yeah, otherwise get it next week.
okay.
So it's just a records update for storage of old police reports. We are in the process of relocating them from a facility in Hooksett back to the town offices. The chief has been working with Town Administrator Bolton. Based on the fees going up substantially, it went from $75 a month to $130 a month.
Yeah, that's huge.
So there's a plan in place. We're gonna need to be getting a humidifier, some security to just lock the doors, and some shelving. The chief plans on utilizing the building maintenance fund for that. And that, we should be getting the records back to the police department by the end of the month, because we just paid our last bill, where we're gonna reorganize some of the files to, and then make the final resting spot down in the basement. That's the update.
So, the record retention will be here in the town office?
That is correct.
Okay,
So you go down
In
into
the
the
vault,
vault.
in the vault.
Where you looked at, take a left.
okay, just wanna make sure that we're the right location, okay.
And then the last one is a contract for details at Clough State Park during the July 4th weekend, based on the fact.
Can we go back to the records?
Yep, sorry.
You said that there was gonna be money coming out of the building maintenance fund,
Yes,
Their own budget.
your own budget,
yes, that's my understanding.
Yeah.
okay,
It's your-
all right, that was,
Yep.
okay, that's fine.
So he has it in the
That was
budget.
my only question.
Okay.
Moving along.
And then the last thing is the contract for details down at Clough State Park for the July 4th weekend, just based on the fact that the monetary amount, and it needs to be a contract, because it's with the Army Corps of Engineers, it just requires the Board of Selectmen's signature or approval for the chief to sign it, giving us permission to work the details down at
I think
Clough
we
State Park.
signed that last year, didn't we?
Yeah,
I think we did.
yeah.
Yeah, we did.
And they cover the cost?
Yeah, there's no
It's
cost to the
reimbursement.
town.
Yeah, they reimburse, right. They're just looking for somebody to fill it.
So this form actually has a chief of police's signature on it for it, so I don't know if you guys signed it last year, because this form,
No, I think that actually might have been the Cliff State Park ones we're thinking of. Is this, have we done this in the past?
yeah, so this one's not like the routine patrols every
Of
day.
course.
This is just like July 4th weekend,
Targeted,
targeted 4 hours for 2 officers through July 4th weekend kind of thing.
okay. All right, do we have a motion to authorize the police chief to sign?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded for the police chief to sign the agreement with the Army Corps for 4th of July weekend. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Abstentions?
Awesome. You guys have anything else, or are we good?
We're good.
We're good.
All right, thank you all for your time. Have a good night now.
Thank
See ya.
you. Bye-bye. Good luck.
Thank you.
Brief recess, so I can use the men's room.
All right, I mean, we've reached our 2-hour mark, so I guess it'd be a consensus of the board. What, do we want to finalize the 2? Do you think we can nail that out, or what do you want to do?
Well,
Well, I think we should do the.
that kinda was the point of this, and we didn't do any
Right.
of it yet, but.
Right.
Can't go too much longer.
No. I think we can probably do the
I mean,
TA.
yeah, I mean, I thought that one
What's-
was all but done, but saying, bless it,
Okay.
right?
You
Maybe?
went through it, right? And- Okay,
Yeah, so the current version is the one I edited.
okay. So,
And then
it's
I don't
perfect.
know where we've been doing the,
easy now.
having the DPW discussion, if that we need hashed out tonight or wait 2 more weeks. I mean, we do have
So,
an agreement with the current director.
so we have some
I
time.
don't see it being a fire, however, that's how cans get kicked down the road too.
Oh, yes, very easily.
I think the last argument really is if we're gonna add sewer and water or not, I think the rest would just be grammar, because we
And-
sat
or-
here and argued that last time.
That
And
should
or
be done.
reorganization, just, or maybe just reorganization at this point.
Right.
If one got moved to the wrong spot,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
type
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Right,
Right,
right.
so.
But that, I could see that take an hour all of a sudden, so.
What do you mean? Not with us, come on, stop.
It's
So,
up to you guys, I don't care.
I think we probably,
The TA's job, I think we're about there.
I think we're about there, I think we can probably approve that,
We got,
but maybe we table the other 2.
we got an agreement from Jason.
Right, so maybe we table the other 2
But
for,
the one prior to
Next
that,
work session.
are you all set so we can pass, remember, we have another step to pass the MOUs, even though on to Mark Roth, have you readied those enough? Because you got 2 today in your emails as a reminder of 2 new MOUs.
those obviously we're not ready to, we haven't discussed them, we haven't, I haven't even looked at them.
Okay, I'm just saying, we've had it on there, we're waiting to
At
send
least,
it to
at
Mark
least one of
Roth.
those we talked about in that.
It was the one it was
the
the
personal time.
hardship and it was the personnel,
The
I'm
pay.
sorry, personal time.
Percentage
Yeah.
in pay, wasn't it
Yep.
percentage if we were lacking
Yep.
so many people at, the
Because we
change?
said
Yes,
that
that's
we
the
would look
hardship.
at them and then we would send them to Mark and then we would sit with Mark.
Yeah,
So I don't want
we'll
to
wait,
be,
we'll wait for 2 to come back now. But yeah, understood.
and we need to make a motion for the hire.
Yes, yeah, let's not forget that again. Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Barry.
yeah. Let's not forget that
That
again.
would be a classic.
That would be a classic move of us
We
to
would be
forget again,
back
trust
tomorrow
me.
night.
Oh, yeah, no, we wouldn't even get home and we'd go, oh, no.
We'd get a text from Jason.
Yeah. Did you help us out? No,
Did
sorry.
you hire Barry? No, we didn't. Let's do that right away.
Yeah,
What did you decide you want to do?
we haven't, yeah.
You have to wait for one more.
We were talking about finalizing the TA job description.
Yeah.
Putting that in stone. Tabling the next 2 down,
Okay,
just because we think that maybe there might be some reorganization again on the DPW. You know, not grammar, we got that under control to my left, but maybe some reorganization of some lines after we read through it. Obviously, the last one's gonna be a topic for a long discussion.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of MOUs that we said that we would send over to legal, that we agreed to send over.
right.
So, now the gang's all back, yeah. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a motion to hire somebody that we forgot to hire.
Yeah.
So,
And then this was handed to me too, you know.
yeah, I see that, I get that over here, yeah,
There you go.
Was it?
yeah, the manifest.
Oh,
All right, so, what's his last name again?
Pratt, Barry
Pratt.
And what's the rate?
Pratt, $19 an hour.
What's the position?
He's a part-time DPW guy.
Yeah,
Essentially labor.
yeah, I'm gonna say labor, yeah. All right, move to hire, Barry Pratt at the rate of $19 an hour.
He's had the driving background, criminal background, all that.
Oh, yeah.
presumably.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
For a position of labor at the DPW, part-time. Is there a second?
Second,
Move and second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yeah. welcome aboard. All right, so there's that,
The guy's a good welder, a whole bunch of,
yeah, fabricator and stuff too.
yeah,
Is he?
yeah.
All right, so do we want to finalize well, before we get carried away, what do you want to do with the MOUs? Do we want to send them to Mark? The two that we had talked about, as far as the hardship and the personal time.
Yeah, so was I of an understanding that we were gonna have a working session with Mark?
Right.
Yes. But at least if he has those,
Yeah, they're fine to send over, they were presented
yeah,
before.
I think they can be sent I think the information can be sent over,
Yeah,
Yes.
but I think that the
he's gonna come in. right?
correct, I believe that the intention of this board was to allow him to review everything, and then we were gonna have a work session with him.
And I would ask that we wait until May, because the one person that was doing the negotiating's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna ask for when I schedule a date with him.
Okay.
So I heard two things. I heard two MOUs and the whole thing.
Correct, so we're gonna set,
Everything's gonna go,
everything's gonna go over for his review,
yeah.
and then we're all gonna have a roundtable about
Yep.
it. That's the plan.
That's
Making
gonna
sure
be
it's
a
not
one-night
just the
thing.
two, and then we get back here and find out what happened to
No,
the
no,
other.
Right.
no, everything that we got, I think he
The
has
red line
anyway,
and-
because Steve had sent it.
Right.
And then
But he
two
still kinda
things,
needs our
two
okay
things
to
came
do
in
it.
today, those will go with the other
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
And then we would have, and that's the only thing you're gonna talk about that night, cause it's gotta be,
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
it's a
wrapped.
non-meeting,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a non-meeting with legal counsel. So,
Alright, so that's done.
So sometime in May,
early, mid-May,
in May.
yeah.
What are you doing, the town administrator?
Yeah, we're gonna do I think we'll do the town administrator, and we'll call it a night. What do you guys think?
Good by me.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
And you have just two quick things.
Oh, yeah.
That's in the other.
Yeah, what's the other?
I just have to have you, so we need to have the, I don't even need a signature. This lady does when we go into a lien,
Yes.
she has to search the mortgages.
Oh, to notify all the
So,
lien
right,
holders,
and we get the money from those that are going to lien, so you
to
guys just
cover
need to sign
to cover that,
on the
okay.
backside, cause
Okay.
it's the fees and then we pay.
Okay. Yeah, it's
on the back
all,
page.
it's all the documentation, homework, and lien
Yes,
holders.
and she's
and-
gonna do it before June something. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that way there we make sure all ties are touched.
Okay. I mean, I don't know that we gotta go through this, do we?
I was gonna say, I think we've all gone through it enough times,
Yeah.
so I think we're probably just good to approve it.
Yeah.
I don't think, does that need a motion, or do you think, or is it just?
No, you guys just sign it, don't you?
I think if we just sign it, it's a,
Goes in the file.
Take the
goes in
draft through
file,
the middle
yeah.
off it and sign it.
Sign it.
so if we're all right with it, just take the draft off, we'll sign
You're
next
gonna
meeting.
make it effective today, though, so we can put the date in?
Yep.
I think it probably would be today, right?
Approved today?
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was approved today,
Absolutely.
yeah. Unless anybody has any comments about it, I think it's a pretty good document.
So I think you sent it back to me in Word. I can
Yep.
take off the
Yep.
watermark, I can put in
Yep.
today's date, and I can put it in the box for next Monday.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
Okay.
that's
So you'll make a
fair.
copy for it.
Yep.
I
Try.
don't think you need a
And that
motion,
was
because all
number.
of you are gonna sign it.
Yeah, I think that, I just wanted unanimous,
Okay.
approval, that's all.
Consensus?
Consensus, that's what I'm looking for, thank you.
So that's the
Once-
top one for you.
So once
Okay.
we sign it,
Try-
we'll get a copy.
It's late, I'm trying to get count.
I know we're doing a lot of the job description work because of wanting to catch up on reviews. So did the previous board sort out, are we gonna be doing like mid-year reviews? Is this just gonna start at the end of this year?
So the intention was to have this all done by February. Here we are. Was, again. So I think as soon as we complete these,
Revisit.
yeah, honestly, I think it's kind of up in the fluid.
Okay.
We're supposed to do it, yes, and obviously the board has fallen behind in that, and it's pretty easy to see how it
Yeah.
goes down like that, so, because we have a charted territory, and then somebody takes the rudder, so, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's where we're at, so I believe that we can kind of play it when that happens, so. All right,
so I understood it that once we have we have these three complete, we're going to do reviews?
I think we're gonna assess. But I believe that, yes,
Yeah.
that is the,
And then we'll end up doing a 6-month, we'll do it.
Well, that was my question, and that was the discussion, was we will figure that out then.
yeah.
Because if it takes us 5 more months to finish this, then.
Who knows what's
Well,
gonna be,
well,
yeah.
right now, we have one done, so we can schedule that review. When we get the second one done,
Well,
we'll
we could.
schedule that
I
review.
mean,
Yeah.
but that's,
Well, that's, I mean,
We could do that,
we,
potentially.
we really, I think, we are way behind, and we need to get the review in the file, because we have been called out on why we don't have the review, because the reviews are stated in the contract.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, so we have to do the review, so I won't, I mean, sometime I would think in late May, we will do the town administrator, provided you have the DPW director, we would do the review then, and then once the police chief done, because we had the reviews scheduled for February 7th,
yeah,
they were scheduled, but then we realized we didn't have job description,
yeah, we had nothing to judge by.
so there was no, we had no,
There was no template.
exactly,
How did they do the reviews 5 years ago, or 10 years ago?
by the seat of
There
their
was a
pants
template.
evidently,
There was a template,
Wow.
there was a template 10 years ago, yeah.
yeah.
There
So
was
anyway,
descriptions, we just wanted to
Benji
tune them
had
up and
the same
change
one
them.
I had. Benji
Yeah.
had the same one I had the
Yeah.
last time we had.
We just didn't, we just didn't use, we kinda just,
It was a
So you guys
generic,
created a
it was
different-
generic, yeah.
it was a generic,
It was a generic,
review.
yeah.
But it's been a couple of years since we've done anything, so. All right,
So that's my understanding, if we want to change that and push them, because the other town employees' reviews are supposed to be done by November 30th?
They're all done, I plan.
No,
on
no,
doing them
but,
again
I meant,
this fall.
that's our date, right? November 30th.
right.
They were all done.
And I'd hate to push these all off to then.
Yeah, so that was my question.
Yeah,
Because we're
Yeah.
planning on ours being done another time in the fall. Library did theirs, DPW did theirs, I did everybody here. And I have them upstairs in an envelope, but our thought was we would do them again.
Right. I'm gonna ask the board, for our next work session. I believe that I just wanna, I guess what I want consensus. We're not gonna add anything into it.
I
No,
agree.
It's gonna be 2 items, and that's it. Right?
yeah,
Okay,
Two that you missed.
right.
Yeah, to the-
With the exception of a manifest, which
Yeah.
is 30 seconds.
Yep.
And
Okay.
that will be, what's the date on that?
24th.
The 24th?
Okay,
no,
yeah, just those 2 items, and a manifest, and that's it.
yep.
Okay, just wanted consensus to make sure. All right, so speaking of manifest, I happen to have one right here. I'm gonna order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payables checks dated April 13th, 2023, including the following manifest. Payroll manifest is $64,798.26 for weekly payroll. Accounts payable of $55,143.09. And supplemental accounts payable of $771,941 for a total of $891,882.35. Is there a second?
Second,
Moving second, all in favor?
aye.
Yes.
Aye. I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
That was mine. Moving second, all in favor?
Aye, aye.
Aye. Thank you, have a wonderful night, everybody.
Yeah, sure, I'm gonna go home, go to bed.
That's where I'm headed.